Prayer in the field of silence, when the hierarchy of thought modes. There are thresholds within the mind, invisible ladders that rise from shadow to light. At the base lies a realm where thought is heavy, where self-perception shrinks into cages of doubt and fear. This is the mode of ignorance, where thought forms are like fog, clinging and damp, clouding the vision of what is truly possible. Here, the mind whispers phrases that become chains. I am not worthy, I am unlucky, I cannot do this, no one could love me. Such thoughts, repeated, carve grooves in the brain, training the body to rehearse defeat before life even unfolds. In this place, experience becomes predictable, not because fate demands it, but because thought has rehearsed the same narrow stage again and again. The body learns to feel small, the heart beats under a cloak of protection, and the soul waits quietly, longing for its voice to be heard again. Yet the field of life is merciful, never holding one hostage forever. Even in ignorance, there is the faint glimmer of dissatisfaction, a restless stirring that whispers, surely there is more than this. That restlessness carries us upward, into the mode of passion. Here, the mind begins to stretch beyond despair, reaching for possibility. But it often grasps with clenched fists rather than open palms. Thought in passion is brighter, yet still bound to the restless ego. It seeks recognition, achievement, validation, as though wholeness were hidden in the applause of others or the accumulation of possessions. The energy here is fire, motivating, burning, but often unstable. Passion can build, but it can also consume. When the thirst for more is rooted in a subtle sense of lack, the hunger is never satisfied, and thought becomes an endless loop of striving. And still, there is yet another ladder above this one, where thought softens and radiates rather than grasps. The mode of goodness. Here thoughts no longer chase but flow. They are not built on fear nor on hunger, but on the deep recognition of interconnectedness. Gratitude rises not as a performance, but as a natural fragrance of awareness. Compassion blooms as if it were the most natural response to life. Here, thought whispers differently, I am whole as I am. Life itself is a gift. My joy expands when others rise. My purpose is not to prove, but to serve, to contribute, to align with something greater. In goodness, the body begins to heal, for the nervous system is no longer caught between fight and flight, nor burning in ceaseless striving. The heart beats with coherence, the brain settles into creative harmony, and the soul no longer waits in silence. It sings. This hierarchy is not a dogma, but a map of inner landscapes. The truth is that all three modes live within us. At times, the mind will dip into ignorance when fear resurfaces. At other times, passion may ignite the fire of ambition. But the invitation is always to rise again, to cultivate the mode of goodness as the steady soil of being. For in goodness, creation becomes aligned with the field itself, the infinite intelligence that animates all life. Thoughts are not merely reactions to circumstance. They become seeds sown into the quantum field, where like attracts like, where the energy of the heart shapes the unfolding of experience. The prayer begins here, in the recognition that thought is not trivial, not random, not powerless. Each thought is a frequency. Each thought is a seed. When rehearsed long enough, thought becomes emotion. Emotion becomes state of being, and state of being becomes reality. To pray, then, is not only to speak to something higher, but to align thought and feeling with the higher mode that already exists within. So let the prayer rise from the silence. In the place where ignorance whispers, may light awaken. May the thoughts that declare unworthiness dissolve like mist in morning sun. May the belief in separation crumble, revealing the truth that no one is ever outside of love, no one is ever cut off from possibility, no one is destined for smallness. May every cell remember its brilliance, every thought find its way back to openness. In the place where passion burns, may the fire be tended with care. May the hunger for recognition soften into the joy of expression. May ambition not bind itself to comparison, but channel its power into creation that uplifts. May passion transform into devotion, the restless grasping becoming steady service. May the fire no longer consume the heart, but warm it, guiding it toward purpose. And in the place where goodness dwells, may the mind rest like a clear lake reflecting the sky. May gratitude become breath itself, a rhythm that steadies the soul. May compassion expand to embrace all beings, dissolving the illusion of separation. May thought and goodness be not a fleeting guest, but a home we return to again and again, until it becomes our native state. The hierarchy is not fixed, it is fluid. To pray in silence is to remember that each moment offers choice. One can linger in ignorance, rehearse lack, and build walls around possibility. One can burn in passion, striving endlessly without peace. Or one can ascend into goodness, letting thought align with coherence, with wholeness, with the infinite field that whispers, all is connected, all is love, all is becoming. So breathe deeply. Feel the thought forms that rise within and notice their flavor. If they are heavy, notice them without judgment and release them. If they are fiery but restless, guide them with tenderness toward balance. And if they are radiant with gratitude and compassion, nurture them, for they are the seeds that open the gates of creation. The hierarchy of thought is not about judgment but about direction. It is not about condemning ignorance, nor rejecting passion, but about learning to rise. For even ignorance has its role, it awakens the desire for more. Even passion has its role, it propels growth. And goodness is the flowering of both, the culmination where the seed becomes blossom and the blossom becomes fruit. To live in goodness is not to escape life, but to engage with it from a higher ground. Challenges still come, but they are not chains. Desires still arise, but they are not prisons. Thought still flows, but it is infused with clarity, humility, and compassion. Life is no longer something to be endured or conquered, but something to be co-created with. So in this prayer, may the silence be fertile. May ignorance be met with light, passion with balance, and goodness with devotion. May every thought become a step on the ladder, guiding the soul upward into coherence, healing, and creation. And may the mind learn that it was never separate from the field at all. It was always an instrument tuning itself to the frequency of love. So breathe deeply, feel fully, rehearse with care, choose with presence, and become the version of yourself you are meant to be.